هل ترغب في التحدث بالإنجليزية بثقة؟ أن تبدأ من الصفر وتصل بعيداً؟
Oh yeah.
سلسلة بودكاست بالإنجليزية للمبتدئين وجدت من أجلك، خطوة بخطوة وبلغة بسيطة تفيدك في حياتك اليومية. هيا نبدأ.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to English for Beginners on English Ears. This is episode number 11.
Today's topic is something we all know and live with every day. Our homes, our rooms, and the furniture around us.
Exactly. One of the first questions people ask when they meet you is, "Where do you live?" So it's really helpful to know how to answer that in simple English.
We'll also learn useful vocabulary to describe your house, your room, and even colors and sizes. Whether you move to a new place or live with international friends, you'll definitely use this.
All right, let's start with our first question. Where do you live?
When someone asks you, "Where do you live?" you can give a short, clear answer, like, "I live in a house." "I live in an apartment." "I live in a room."
And if you want to give more details, you can say, "I live in a small apartment." "I live near the city center." "I live in the countryside."
You can also say who you live with. "I live with my family." "I live alone."
Let's try a quick role play. Ready, Yasmina? Where do you live?
"I live in a quiet apartment with my sister." See? That's easy. And everyone can prepare one simple sentence about their living place. Just practice and you'll be ready anytime.
And remember, this is one of the first things you'll be asked, whether you're making friends, joining a class, or applying for something. So Yasmina, now that we know how to say where we live, let's go a little deeper. How do we describe our house?
Great question. When describing a house, we can start with how many rooms it has and what kind of rooms they are.
Exactly. You can say something like, "My house has 3 rooms."
And then describe what each room is. For example, there's a living room, a kitchen, and 2 bedrooms.
Let me try. I live in a small house. It has 4 rooms, a living room, a kitchen, 1 bedroom, and a bathroom.
That's perfect. Simple and clear. Now let's talk about the style or feeling of the house.
Right, we can say things like, "It's a simple but nice house." "It's clean and cozy." "It's old but very comfortable."
Let's give a longer example. Ahmed, describe your house again with more feeling.
I live in a small house with my parents. It's not big, but it feels warm and welcoming. There are 3 main rooms: a living room where we sit together and watch TV, a small kitchen where my mom cooks delicious food, and 2 bedrooms. My room is simple, but I love it. It's quiet, and I can study there.
That's a great example. It shows not just the size and rooms, but the feeling of home.
Yasmina, what if someone lives in a very modern apartment? What can they say?
Good one. They can say, "I live in a modern apartment. It has big windows and a lot of light. The living room is bright and the kitchen is open."
Here's a quick dialogue. I'll be the one asking. What's your house like, Yasmina?
I live in an apartment on the 3rd floor. It's modern and very bright. There's a living room with a big sofa, a small kitchen, and 2 bedrooms. I live with my cousin.
So, to describe your house, remember, start with the number of rooms. Name the rooms. Say how the house feels. Simple, cozy, modern, big, or small.
And don't forget, keep it simple and real. Think about your own home and try to describe it in English.
All right, Yasmina. Now let's zoom in a little, from the whole house to just one room. Your room.
Yes! Everyone has a room they spend time in to sleep, study, or relax.
So, how do we talk about our room in English?
We start by naming the furniture, things like bed, desk, chair, closet, window, bookshelf, lamp.
Then we say what we have in the room. For example, my room has a bed and a desk.
We can also talk about the size or the feeling of the room. Like, it's small but cozy. It's bright and quiet. It's big and modern.
Let's do a quick role play again. Yasmina, describe your room for us.
My room is small but very cozy. There's a single bed in the corner, and next to it is a white desk where I study. I have a small bookshelf with my favorite books and a window that lets in lots of sunlight. The walls are light blue, and I keep a soft rug on the floor.
Here's another example. My room has a big bed, a black chair, and a tall closet. There's also a lamp next to the bed. I have a window with a view of the street, and the walls are light grey.
Perfect! It's helpful to also mention colors and where things are.
So now, dear listener, try to describe your room in English.
Even if it's one sentence, it's a great start.
Yasmina, asking someone about their home is such a common part of conversation. But do you think it's always appropriate?
It really depends on the culture. In many Western countries, it's totally normal to ask, where do you live? How many rooms does your house have? What's your kitchen like?
But in more traditional cultures, like in the Middle East or some parts of Asia, people might not feel comfortable talking about their home, especially with strangers. Privacy is a big value.
That's true. And even living styles are different. For example, in many Western countries, it's common to rent a room in someone else's house, like students or young professionals sharing a home.
But in traditional societies, especially in Arab cultures, this idea is not very accepted. Many people prefer not to share their living space with non-family members. They value boundaries and family-only spaces.
And this also explains why some cultures prefer big houses, especially where families live together, sometimes with grandparents, uncles, and cousins.
While in other cultures, like in Japan or Scandinavian countries, smaller, minimalist homes are popular. People value simplicity, efficiency, and calm spaces. A good tip is to start with general curiosity and always be polite. You can say, "I'm curious about homes in your country. What are they usually like?"
That's a warm and respectful way to learn and connect through language and culture.
That's it for today's episode, friends. We hope you enjoyed learning how to talk about your home and furniture in English.
Yes. From describing your room to asking others about their homes, these are real-life English skills you can use every day.
And remember, practice makes perfect. So try using the words and phrases we learned today with a friend or even by yourself.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, English for Beginners, right here on English Ears, so you never miss an episode.
Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
Don't forget to subscribe.